What's going on, guys? Today we're going to go over the last 2 months or so of Amazon FBA news. One of the biggest things in Amazon, if you want to keep up to date, if you want to beat out other sellers, is to just stay current on what's going on in the Amazon FBA market. Things change pretty damn quick here, and if you could stay ahead of all the trends, learn what your competitors aren't learning, you can take advantage of that to get the leg up. So if you want to stay up to date on everything Amazon FBA news related, make sure you subscribe down below. Otherwise, let's get into it. All right, guys, so we have Amazon FBA December 2023 updates as well as 2024. If you want to read over these, the blog will be posted down below in the description. We post everything we have in writing form as well as in video form, just to make sure you can digest the information, whatever is best for you. Okay, so let's go over to Amazon FBA December 2023 updates. The big one here that will take the most time is right here. So January here, how do I deal with Amazon's rising Amazon fees? There's a lot to go over here, so just hang tight. But that will be the biggest kind of thing you want to pay attention on this video, is because these fees are changing in a lot of different categories in a lot of different ways. I'm going to break that all down for you. I've highlighted certain sections of Amazon to make sure we can go over the important parts. But otherwise, let's first start with this. So Amazon introduces AI generated product photography. So they are trying to fill the gap essentially to make sure product photography looks good, looks great. I'm back and forth on this because, one, if your competitors have crap photos, then you can get the leg up on your competitors by getting great photos. The good thing about this, if they do a great job of AI and really can, show your product off here, well, you're going to save, $600 to $1,000 on lifestyle photos here. So this is something where it's bittersweet, I would say. I do like it. I like innovation, so I'm not mad there, as well as their AI probably won't keep up with other AI platforms as far as product photography. If I had to guess, just because Amazon's huge, right? They got a lot going on. I'm sure that's not their main focus, is to create the best AI generated product photography out there. So if you can stay up to date with, Chat GPT 4, 4.5, whatever it is, there's a ton of other AI softwares out there that can produce photos like this too. So maybe where everybody's using this, you have a leg up somewhere else in the AI kind of sphere where you're getting better photos than them. So we always want to make better photos that tell a story, that highlight benefits, that evoke emotion. So this is in beta testing form right now. Some have access, some don't. They'll slowly roll that over to everybody in due time. Next, social shopping, the next e-commerce craze. It's huge right now. We've all seen TikTok Shop. We've all seen, lives, Amazon lives, things like that. So I think this is going to be the next big thing, just like the shopping networks were, in the 90s, early 2000s, what your grandparents watched. People like this stuff. People who are just, consumers will sit there and watch and buy products. On Amazon Prime, they're rolling out more ads right now. Even for paid users, if you don't upgrade your subscription, they're starting to roll this out. They're going to have ads in your favorite shows and your favorite movies. Guess where a lot of those ads are going to come from? Probably being paid for by Amazon sellers like you and me, or bigger companies. I'm sure it's going to be bigger companies only at first, but slowly rolling that out for everybody, where someone's watching Amazon Prime, they can quickly just hit a button, buy on their Prime account without even leaving their show. I'm sure that's what they want. As well as, TikTok Shop. There's lives going on there right now where people are just displaying products like a shopping network kind of theme. You got Amazon Lives, which is the same kind of concept. Don't be surprised if Amazon rolls out some short reel type content as well to kind of boost more influencer content or even ads on their own platform. So this is the future, guys. So obviously there's still important things like influencers, things like that, but this is kind of what's going on. So keep an eye on this. Dig deeper into it. For those everyday consumers, this stuff is happening. I'm not going to say everybody out there shops that way, but it's going to be a big segment of the people who shop every day on Amazon. If you guys want to go deeper into that, we've kind of broke down some stats, some links here for you, and kind of how this all works. Next, Amazon stopped selling Black Friday and Cyber Monday products. I'm just going to kind of quickly go over this again. You can check this out, but some products here that were really super trendy. The funny parts to me are the Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza, the games here, because there's new games every year, and some people just sit back as private label sellers essentially, and they just create these new fun games, and they have a system to make them go viral essentially. Word of mouth for these games is huge, right? Because you get a fun game, someone's household, they invite friends over. Oh, honey, we got to get that game for the next get together we have, right? That's kind of how that works. So just another approach to private label and branding as well. But this game needs to be fun, right? It's not really about branding. It's about a fun game that goes socially viral, essentially. Next, Temu poaching Amazon customers. So some of you might have heard of Temu. It's essentially like AliExpress, but more user-friendly, more directed at the American market. They're essentially drop shipped products to the States, some quick, some not so quick. Their tagline here is shop like a billionaire, which I personally hate that. But anyways, they're doing a great job because what they're pushing is gamification of buying. It's sort of like an MLM right now too, of how they're trying to get people to push this, which I don't think is sustainable. If, say they're pushing too soon, their shipping times are slow, which a lot of them are. The product quality is iffy, which a lot of it is. They're trying to get this multi-level marketing, pushing it to more users and more users. Well, if they're not happy with the shopping experience, yeah, you're going to get a ton of users at first, but they're not going to come back, right? So we'll see how this works out. I'm not too worried about this. I think it's going to be like for people who like to shop super good deals or like to have fun when they shop. I don't know, like, I hate saying it this way, but I think it's going to be for people of very, very low income, right? And I'm not saying always, but that's just like my main initial thought process. I'm not an expert on Temu. I haven't studied it for months or months. It's only been around for so little of time already. Big thing already, allegation security risks. It's a Chinese-based company, but just like TikTok, they put it to Congress. Nothing's happened. I don't think Temu is going to get shut down either. But to me, this is kind of a nothing burger as of now when it comes to Amazon, right? Very cheap product quality, slow shipping times, non-existent customer service. Where if the data we're about to go look at with Amazon right now, they just shipped 1.8 billion products with 1 day shipping. People pay for convenience. So I'm not too worried about that. Before we get on to January here and to those Amazon fees, which is important, you're going to stick around for that. We had Mustafa hit 10K in our AWA group. Just want to give him a personal shout out. Great job, man. Christina getting her first sale, which I know $276 isn't anything to, quit your job over, but this is the start, right? This is the first milestone to get to, where did Mustafa hit, right? Mustafa was at this point right here. So I think it's a massive milestone to get your product live on Amazon and see your first sales. That's momentum, massive. We also have Kanar hitting $33,000 here in this last month as well. If you got more information about that, it's right down here. But again, I want to get on to January. So here we go. Okay, so Amazon's Black Friday numbers. So people are concerned about a recession, Amazon dying, Temu taking over, TikTok shop. Well, even with lower market conditions, Amazon went up 8%, about 7.5% more sales during Black Friday, Cyber Monday than 2022 when things were booming in 2022, essentially. So even in a downtime in the year, Amazon still saw a big increase during this time. 7.5 might not seem like a lot, but when you're talking billions of dollars, that's massive. You can see here on Fox News, if you want to read more about that, we've linked that in here. So we try to link everything in here with more facts if you'd like to go deeper on that. Next, we have Amazon's rising fees. Okay, so the big one here. So let's open this up. So I took some time here to highlight some of the main key components. That way you don't have to read this whole boring piece of paper right here. So let's go over this. This will also be linked inside of our article too, if you want to read more into it. But first thing I wanted to cover, just like I talked about, more than 1.8 billion products units were delivered on the same day or next day delivery. That's insane, right? The value equation for customers not only is price, but delivery time. You essentially, if you cut the delivery time in half, you double the value you give to the customers. This is big. I think this is what they're trying to do, where they have 1 day, same day shipping pretty much for everybody in a city, which will be crazy. And it'll be incredibly hard for any company to beat that, to match that, to implicate their storage, their fulfillment the way they have. So this is going to be their giant moat. This is why I don't think Amazon's stopping anytime soon, because other companies can't do this. You don't know how impressive this actually is. It's absolutely insane. Next, we have average increase of 0.15 in fees per unit sold. So essentially they're just saying in 2024, they're increasing on average everything by 0.15 here, which then they go into brag, which is significantly less than increases announced by other logistics providers. We also expect that there will be many sellers who will see a decrease in the average fees paid on Amazon per unit. Amazon fulfillment fees will continue to remain an average 70% less expensive than 2-day shipping methods offered by other major third-party logistics providers. Again, that's the crazy thing, right? I know FBA fees are high, but compared to you shipping 1 day or 2 days at your local UPS store, it's actually a really good deal. Now, I'm not saying I'm for Amazon to increase charges, but we have to look at these things in perspective, right? So next, we will introduce inbound placement service fees here for standard, large, bulky size products to reflect our cost of distributing inventory fulfillment centers close to customers. Next, we have introduction of inbound placement service fees. So for anything that are standard size, large standard size, essentially you're paying if these things get into one warehouse and they distribute it to multiple warehouses. So make sure you have this toggled off in your settings, which you can read more about it within this link. But essentially, when you get a shipment to Amazon, it tells you to do it to 3 different fulfillment centers, like send it 3 different fulfillment centers. Do it. It's going to be much cheaper than them placing it around 3 different fulfillment centers for you. You can also just do the math, right? You can do the math of how much it's going to cost you with Amazon if you're going to ship it to one place, or you're going to just ship it to all 3 like they're asking here. So just be careful of that. Do the math. But on average, it's usually way cheaper to split it up into 3 segments and deliver it off to 3 different parts of the country. Next, we have a decreased FBA fulfillment rates for standard size products by 20 cents per unit and for large bulky size products by 61 cents. They'll label this out, but large bulky, what that is, they're renaming oversized, and they'll call them large bulky. So I'm not sure what they want to do with that or why, but that's what they're doing. Most of these fees will start around April 15th, February, March. So just keep an eye out for that too. Products priced below $10 will continue to have an additional 70 cents discount on per unit fees. Kind of that replacement of the small and light program. So keep an eye on that. Again, anything that relies to you, I suggest getting deeper into these links here. Okay. In addition, to reflect those cost savings and products can be shipped in their existing packaging, we will offer a fulfillment fee discount ranging from 4 cents to $1.32, depending on item size and weight. So what this is, if your product doesn't need to be boxed, right? So say it's a blender and you can just stick your FNSKU in the blender box. It's a nice box. It's not going to get messed up during shipping. They will give you a discount here. Okay. So you have to apply for this essentially. So what you do, just click this link right down here. That's what it looks like. To qualify for ships and product packaging, your item's packaging must be a rigid 6-sided box, a rigid or padded mailer, or a bag. Meet minimum dimensions here. For items in flexible packaging, so things that are not in rigid boxes, this is the max dimensions they could be in with weight. Be securely sealed, protect product within following the label requirements per Seller Central guidelines, and get certified down here. So essentially, if your box is great and just could be like, if you took the UPS and wanted to send it to a friend across the country and you didn't need another box in it, you can qualify for this. So make sure you look out for that. If your box does that, you could change the way your box is set up. So maybe if you get a 50-cent discount or whatever it is, again, get deeper into that, figure it out. Maybe you pay that extra 10 cents to your supplier per unit to get that more rigid box to save money here. So again, do the math, get deep into the weeds here. Okay. So next we will introduce a low inventory level fee for standard size products. Sellers can avoid fee by maintaining more than 4 weeks of inventory relative to sales. These fees will apply starting April 1st, 2024. Would you check out more here? I personally hate this. I hate this because it is getting so complex and confusing. So essentially what this is saying is if you don't have low inventory, you're not going to get charged this fee. So what they're trying to do here, if I just read, if you carry consistently low levels of inventory relative to unit sales, this inhibits our ability to distribute products across our network, degrading delivery speeds and increasing our shipping cost. So they want a certain level of inventory in here. It's kind of crappy because when we get deeper into this, they're raising the fees for long-term storage fees. So if you're not perfect with it, you're just going to get charged more on both ends, and it just hurts my brain. So this is where we're going to have to become experts here in storage management. You can get deeper in that with the link here. Now they are offering a little bit of help here. So to help you carry sufficient levels of inventory, we will reduce non-peak monthly storage fees for standard size products by an average of 9 cents per cubic foot from an average of 80 cents to 78 cents from January to September. Monthly storage fees for non-standard size will remain unchanged. And you can see monthly storage fees in this page. And then we'll get into where it talks about additional storage fees and how they're going to do that. Essentially, this doesn't really mean anything to me. We also provide the following new expanded service benefits. We reduce referral fees for apparel products. So there's essentially lowering referral fees. So if you have apparel, this is great. Introduce a new lower pricing structure for Vine, which is great. You can go to the Vine page to learn more about that. We'll expand benefits as part of the US FBA new selection program. So they're going to keep this 10% rebate on new to FBA parent products. So essentially, if you're new on Amazon, it's a new product, you get like 50 to 100, depending on the product, essentially of 10% rebates on that. If you want to learn more about that, FBA new selection page. We will introduce updated rates and new benefits for supply chain by Amazon. So they're really pushing this Amazon global logistics, partner carrier program, Amazon warehousing and distribution, I should say, in the more English way of saying it. So if you guys are interested, I have not dug deep into Amazon Global Logistics. If you guys want to learn more about that, put a comment down below. I plan on digging more into that, but it'd be good to know if more people are interested and how that all works. Next, starting April 1st, rates for storage utilization surcharge will start to imply or increase here. This is what I was talking about earlier. I hate this. What they're going to do is essentially they're going to charge you more based on how many times it's been here. So essentially we have to stay below 26 weeks of inventory to not get this surcharge here. And then 26 to 39, they're charging you an extra 69 cents per cubic foot, 39 plus weeks, 94 cents. So essentially we have to stay between below 26 weeks of inventory. This is all different based on peak periods and sizing, everything like that. So make sure you read up on this. But to me, all this means is that we need a third-party logistics company or a third-party storage unit, whether it's a company, your own garage, and we need to stay where we always have inventory in, but we're never going over 26 weeks and we trickle this inventory in. That's the only way I see around not playing this game of doing math with products every single day of your life. Next, starting February 5th, we increase removable disposal fees. So they're just charging more to remove stuff, dispose of stuff, liquidation stuff stays unchanged. We'll increase the age inventory surcharge for inventory stored between 271 and 365 days. So they're increasing for long storage fees. So if you're at 271 to 365, you're messing up anyways. Get that stuff out of there and trickle it back in. We'll increase prep services fees to match the latest operational cost. If you're doing prep through Amazon, you are messing up anyways, so don't do that. Have your supplier do it. Starting on March 1st, we'll introduce the inbound defect fee for shipments that are sent to a location that is different. I'm going to read this in entirety because it's really important. So I apologize for me just reading you something, but it's very important. We will introduce an inbound defect fee for shipments that are sent to a location that is different from the shipment plan for domestic shipments that don't arrive within 45 days of shipment creation, for international shipments that don't arrive within 75 days of shipment creation. For shipments that don't arrive at our facilities within 30 days of the first shipment in multiple destination shipping plans, the charge will be addressed to additional costs to redirect, receive, and process your shipment. So this is very important because a lot of people like to make shipping plans based on the date that they think it's coming. So we just get more accurate on this. So 45 days for domestic, 75 days for international here. So don't rush this too fast. I know when you make your first product, you want to get this going right away, but I would wait to make your shipment plan until it's getting ready to be sent and you're going to be within these time constraints. 75 days internationally, you should be okay here, right? Because it takes 30 days to get it, 40 days at worst to get it sea shipped over. You're going to be okay here. But again, be careful of this. Starting February 5th, we'll introduce new size bands, 2-ounce intervals, small, standard size, 4-ounce. And essentially what they're doing here is they're renaming oversized to large, bulky, extra large size tiers to replace the oversized, like I said. And they're just going to create more essentially tiers within these tiers to get different pricings, things like that, which isn't always bad because when you're always on the edge, it's so annoying to bounce back and forth from tiers. So hopefully you have a tier where you're solidly in. And finally, we'll expand the returns processing fee to apply to a high return rate products in all categories, excluding apparel and shoes. So this is excluding apparel and shoes because they already have high return rates. But what's going to happen here, if you have a high return rate versus other products in your category, you're going to be charged a fee for that. So be careful here because people ask me all the time, hey, should I try to get in a different category because there's less competition over here? Well, that could hurt you if that new category you got in has a lower overall return rate and then you get charged extra returning fees. So again, I'm always on the side of just put it where it belongs. Put your product in the category where it belongs. Okay. So that's it on fees. If you want to go deeper into that, you can use the links here and here to go deeper on that. They do this every year. It's getting a little bit more complex, which is annoying, but I like to have rules in place that just avoid these and I don't have to think about them. Like having a 3PL and I know product under 26 weeks, right? That's the same thing you should be doing. 3PL, storage unit. You can clearly see in your Seller Central how long those products have been in here, okay? Future of e-commerce, I like to read this every year. So what this is showing, the percentage of e-commerce sales as a percent of totally quarterly retail sales. So essentially, right, if we go take this one here, it's like 17%. This means that 17% of all retail sales were done e-commerce, online, okay? We'd see here around 16%. We saw a big bump in 2020 for obvious reasons, and we kind of stayed along this path. So it accelerated the growth for e-commerce. Now, the cool thing here, why I get so tingly and excited, is we're sitting around 15%, 16% from the last quarter here of e-commerce sales to all retail sales. That's 16%. It's a massive billion billion dollar market. I'm not talking 1 billion, I'm talking billions, okay, of what is sold online in retail, just total in the US. And 15% of that is online, okay? What happens when this goes to 50%, which we all know online shopping is the future? What happens when this goes from 15 to 50%? That's almost a 3x in sales online done. What happens to your Amazon product that's doing 10,000 a month, 3x more sales get online? Maybe it's not all to Amazon, but Amazon's going to be the leader that maintains growth, steady, is going to stay. So is it going to 2x, going to 3x just from you waiting, sitting there, piling up reviews, getting products on Amazon? So that's very exciting. That's why I almost view Amazon products like a stock, where if we get in early, we work hard early, we get that positioned to the number 1, number 2, number 3 spot, and then we just maintain it, which is much easier than launching a product. Then in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, we just double, triple, quadruple, and we keep growing with Amazon. Now, obviously, none of that is a guarantee, but looking at these numbers, that's what I'm looking forward to. Okay, so that's it. Some more Amazon Wealth Accelerator wins. So that's it for the news. If you guys want to go deeper on that, make sure you get in the blog here. We'll link that down below in the description. To make sure I'm giving my love to my clients here, we have someone hit 5,000 here last month, as well as another person hit 5,000 last month. Mustafa hitting 30,000 in sales last month. You saw in December, he was at 10,000. Now he's at 30,000, right? The growth of Amazon can be absolutely insane. If you want help in coaching, picking a profitable product, and getting mentorship, talking to the coaches, talking to me, learning how to avoid all the mistakes, stay up to date on everything here, you can use this link or a link down below in the description. All right, guys, that's all today. Again, make sure you subscribe if you want to stay up to date on Amazon news and everything Amazon FBA related. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.